All right, what's up? Welcome back to another update video. I don't know how much people actually like these, but I'm gonna keep doing it anyways. It's where I give up recent events that is happening in my life. So how entertaining that is, I don't know. But we're gonna figure it out and hang your coat up on the rack at the door because just stay with me through the video. There's no point in leaving. You have nothing better to do with your life right now. Okay. So basically, first of all, this is new. All the brick and everything like that, it's all new. And I think it's amazing, in my opinion. That's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, type it down in the comments. Okay. Um, First of all, I went to Starbucks. Okay. I went to Starbucks today, actually, and I scripted my next video, guys, and I did some homework. And this is a photo of or a video of me, at Starbucks. Like, how cool is that? Like, that's my first time working at Starbucks. Like, it's like a young baby growing up more into a toddler, and life at that age is just wonderful. And that's what I thought it was gonna feel like working at Starbucks, but it didn't. Um, I can say it made me feel less of a man because I worked at Starbucks. Um, but it was okay. It was an okay experience, okay? And the second, something else that is interesting that has happened in my life. This is actually a while ago, but I need to flex it now because if I don't now, it's gonna be too late. So let me flex it real quick. You see this book right here? You see this book? Okay, hold on. Let me show it to you. Yeah. Oh, they can't even see it. Oh, it's my bad. I gotta keep it on the light. That's horrible. Not my bad. But if you don't know what this is, if you couldn't tell by now, okay, this is the New Testament. Um, is it just the New Testament? Hold on. Okay, it is just the New Testament. That sucks. I didn't know that because I haven't really honestly looked at it because, well, it's been on my shelf, but the pages look awesome. Hold on. If you can see the pages, I don't know if you can see the pages, but they're like red and they look old. They look old because it is old, and that's all a part of the flex. Okay, because this book right here is 150 years old. Can you believe that? That's crazy. I have an 150 years old Bible. If you have one that beats my Bible, put it in the comments. Like, I've never felt more proud of an artifact like this 150-year-old Bible that I own. And I think it cost me 10 bucks. Maybe yeah, I think it cost me 10 bucks. 10 bucks to buy an 150-year-old Bible. Now, I don't want to touch it too much cuz I feel like it might fall apart or turn into dust at some point, but yeah, that's basically it. Now back on the Starbucks topic. When we went to Starbucks, so I just got a water, right? I went up to get a water, but my brother was in front of me in line, right? And what did he do? He looked at the freaking like lady behind working it, right? And she's asking him what he wants. He tells her, and then when she asks him what his name is, guess what he says? He looks at her and says her name tag. He says, "My name's Natalie." And she was like, "What?" And he goes, "My name's Natalie." And she puts in the name. Like, what a weirdo. Am I right? Like, he said he read this thing that if you say the person's name who's serving you, whether it's a girl or a boy, it'll make their whole day bad or whatever. He's lost in the head sometimes. But that's what he said. And so I'm sitting behind him as he's telling her his name is Natalie, and I have one earbud in, and so I'm like, "Wait, what did you just say your name was?" And he said, "I said my name was Natalie." I said, "Why did you say that?" And he gave me that whole spiel, and I was like, "Man, I wish I was not standing behind you. I wish I did not look like I was even close to related to you since we're sitting right next to each other in Starbucks." So that's that whole situation. Uh, yeah, it's a whole thing. And so then recently, actually today as well, I text. So let me give some context. Actually, recently I heard from an atheist, and there's this atheist guy. I don't really remember his name. That's not important. But there's this atheist, and he said that if he was if what we believe as Christians, if we believe that Jesus is real and that if you don't believe in God and don't follow God, that you will go to hell, if you do not share the gospel with other people and tell them about this thing that is going to happen to them, since we believe it so much, and this is coming from him because he doesn't believe, but since we know in our hearts that God is real and everything, and we don't share the word, then he wouldn't respect us at all. And it's not that I care about his respect because I don't even know him and I don't really care about his respect. But I was thinking, what if I was not a Christian? And I even like I remember when I wasn't a Christian and like living how I lived and all that, like, and I mean, I'm not that old, so I wasn't like wilding out or anything. Well, ish. But the point is that if I was still not a Christian and I didn't really know about Jesus and everything, like I knew his name and everything because it's like the most famous name in the world, but I didn't know anything about the gospel or anything. I didn't know I was going to go to hell because I didn't believe in Jesus and I didn't put my trust in him and all this stuff. And so I'm sitting here and I'm just walking the road to hell because no one shared the gospel with me. So that really put something on my heart and I felt like, like cuz I in soccer, I do soccer for a club near me and I was thinking when I was playing with my team, it's like a pickup team, but I play with them like a whole semester of what they do or whatever. And so I'm playing with them and I'm like, should I feel like I should like tell them about Jesus because like we've already connected through soccer and everything like that. So it wouldn't feel well, it obviously felt weird enough to where I didn't want to share, but like getting through that awkward situation to share the gospel with people who I actually do care about because I care about anyone that comes across me because like knowing that they're on their way to hell is not a good feeling. And I don't know if you feel like it's a good feeling, but for me it's not a good feeling. And so I felt like sharing it with them, but I crawled back in my shell because that would be uncomfortable. And like I would not want someone to be uncomfortable to share the word with me if I wasn't a Christian. And the thing is, I think it's difficult because, we're sitting here and we're like, ooh, pushing between two different things. And it's like I wouldn't want you to feel that way if like even if I hated you for telling me that Jesus is real because I had something against Jesus, but then I later came to Christianity, I would never want you to feel weird because like I needed that. So I think we can put this into our mindset that the next time someone needs to hear about Jesus, put it into the thought process of if they know about this, it'll change their life. Not, oh, they're not going to like that I'm talking about Jesus or anything like that. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. And they may not like it initially, but at some point they will. And I heard something from someone and he was like, well, I told my waitress about Jesus and she started serving us bad the whole time. And I was like, that's wild. And then he said, and after I gave her a big tip and she was like, why would you do that? Like I was purposely serving you bad because you started to talk about Jesus. And so and I thought I was just like, like it doesn't matter to them in the moment, but when they start really thinking about it in those private times that they have, is very important to share. And then I got all this, and then it just re-brought all this crap up because I was reading The Way of the Master by I don't Ray Comfort. And if you don't know me, not a lot of people know this except for my inner circle, but I really love Ray Comfort because I think he just shares the word the right way. And I think he's like that like veteran guy that like you could say anything and he just doesn't care, but like he puts like purpose into his work. But like at some point, it's like, bro, I've been doing this for 70 years. Like not literally, but I've been doing this for so long. Like I know what I'm doing type vibe. But like when you see someone younger, there's always some like they have an area to improve. And then there's this veteran guy who's just like got it all together in what he's been doing for so long. And I think that's what's different about him versus all the younger people like Bryce Crawford and people like that. I think that his is different because like he really knows what he's talking about. He's defined the things that he's been doing. So if I could recommend a couple of books to you that I have read Screw Tape Letters are great, especially if you're a Christian or as someone who is on the edge of like Christianity, like you don't know what you believe. Uh, Screw Tape Letters, awesome. Okay, they're amazing. Now, if you want to know what that book's about, because I will gladly let you know. The Screw Tape Letters, okay? The Screw Tape Letters are about like this uncle who is a there's these demons, right? And then there's the uncle demon and then the nephew. The nephew's like younger and he like doesn't really know what he's like doing to like tempt people to come to hell. Like, like making them depressed or making them do sinful things that keep them away from God. So they're just trying to tempt them, but keep them away from God. And they see God as the enemy. And so Jesus, like, if he acts on something, is like way more powerful than all these little things that the devil tries to get you with. And I just thought, that's crazy. And it gives you a bunch of insight into, how things like really like it's a thought out way of how the devil tries to get us in his grasps and just cling on to us. And it's like when you're in like your dry season of Christianity where you like don't feel close to God and it'll be like they're trying to like do these little things so that they're just pulling you further away from God because you're in your dry season, but they don't want you to start thinking about God again. Like or like they want you to believe that you're in a good place with God and reality you're not. But I just thought it was a good book. It's a great book. You should read it. Especially if you want to advance as a Christian and understand more things and be able to tell other people about Jesus. I think that's important. Especially as Christians, don't go into something blind because well, you could mess like someone else up and you could mess yourself up because, you could say some crap that is false and then they'll be like, "Well, I don't believe in Jesus because you're a liar." And then you say something and you know that wasn't true, and so you thinking this thing that's not true leads you down the wrong path. But anyways, I thought that's about it, and this we've been here for 12 minutes. I've been talking way too much, y'all. All right, so basically, if you liked this, please comment and tell me if you want to watch another one. I don't know if you do or not. I mean, I'm probably gonna still keep doing it because I've gotten zero traction at all. And so, posting whatever I want just seems to be the best. And then things that God is laying on my heart seems to be the best. Um, but yeah, I think my whole setup is doing great. Okay, y'all. Like I might have put my podcast mic in here at some point and do that when I'm doing my videos. But I don't like to feel too official because then it's like it feels too buttered up. I like to like my last video. My last video about Forrest Frank, which you should go check out if, you're into that type of thing about, culture and everything like that is part of the Christian culture. But when I was talking about Forrest Frank, I just went all around my house. My mom when we were going through the editing and I was like does this seem like not put together? And she was like, "Why are you showing my house? Like it's dirty." And so, there's all that. But yeah, that's basically the end of the video that we got going here. So, I hope you have a good day. And if you're new and you watch this far, that's surprising. You just watched a random person talk about like the dumbest crap in their life, So like that's awesome that you stayed here. You obviously really didn't have anything to do, but make sure that if you feel feel led to like this video because you're obviously still here or subscribing. Subscribing would be awesome if you want more content. If you don't do it. I've heard that this part right here where I tell you to like and subscribe is a pointless. But yeah, yeah. Have a great day.